Hi, I'm Eric Dewey from the Socially Awkward Studios, Science and Beer, and Her Majesty's Secret Podcast, and you're listening to another proud presentation of the Four-Eyed Radio Network. Check out more shows at foureyedradio.com.
It's your good pal, Steve-O from the Four-Eyed Radio Network. I'm here to talk to you about a wonderful designer we all know, Revenge Lover. Illustrates and designs that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, please visit revengelover.com. And just do yourself a favor and tell him Steve-O sent you. I know it really doesn't count for anything, but, I mean, come on. Who are you gonna trust? You gonna trust somebody else? No, you're gonna trust me, Steve-O. Because, face it, I'm awesome.
Flapjacks and Mountain Dew America. I'm Zach Nanimus.
I'm Johnny Dim.
And you've just tuned in to the Warpod, part of the Space City Nerd Network, the Four-Eyed Radio Network, the Houston Nerdcasting Collective. And is there one more?
There's three.
There's three?
Yeah.
I thought there was four. Tonight, we are going to be talking about Johnny's Delusions of Xbox Grandeur, the new Pokemon fighting game coming to Wii U next year, Nintendo NX and Microsoft both releasing disc-free systems in the future, and we're going to talk about the top 3/bottom 3 cartridges of all time! But first, Johnny played video games!
Yay.
Johnny played video games! Ah!
Finally.
Johnny.
Yeah.
Earlier, you were talking to me about how you don't really like to play video games in your spare time.
No, I have a reputation with some like mutual friend Marlon. His thing about me, he says that I just don't like games, so I don't play them.
Well, give me an example of a game that you don't like that you feel like a lot of people like.
Well, I don't like WoW, but we knew that.
Okay, lots of people. Okay. I don't think WoW players like WoW.
Right.
I really don't.
I think they're addicted. I think it's a drug.
You know what I thought a long time ago? I never bothered researching into it or asking anybody or anything like that. But I think that there's some sort of like hypnotic trigger, or possibly I think it has to do with the movement of the characters, because you're watching your character move constantly, pretty much the same 20 frames of animation just over and over and over and over and over again. And I think that may have somehow been designed to be addictive, like the specific movements. Maybe it's the speed, the way it flows, something like that. Sort of like a hypnotic pattern.
That very well could be. In fact, that's probably why it takes Blizzard so long to put out games, because they're doing research into psycho effects to get people addicted to their games.
MK Ultra.
Yeah. You heard it here first.
But, okay, so you don't like WoW, but you are playing games now.
I'm playing. I thought it was newsworthy that I'm playing more than one game recently.
Are you close enough to the mic?
Yeah.
Okay. Which games?
Let's go backwards. So last one I played, actually, I downloaded the free Magic Duels. You can get on Xbox One, which is it's a free game you can download. It's
Magical Duels.
It's
a liquor.
It's non-alcoholic.
That's not gaming. That's
liquor.
That's an addiction.
Okay. Back to that addiction thing. I'm seeing a trend. No, it was like a Magic the Gathering card game that you just play on your Xbox One.
Yeah, J-Riz, what's it actually called?
It's like called Magic Duels.
I don't think it's called Magical Duels.
I think that may be the new one.
It is the new one, yeah.
We had like the Magic the Gathering 2014.
Yeah, this
on
one.
The 360.
This one's based off of the recent set, the Origins set, which is the last like core set they're putting out in Magic. And so that's how they start you off. You have to go through like 5 matches where you have to win against the computer with these decks that are made for you, and then from there you go and you're able to basically customize your own decks, and they give you basically what they call a box set, which is like the Origin set. I don't think there's that many cards in it, but it's a decent amount per color in Magic, and then there's a couple artifacts and stuff like that, and then you can get boosters, and that's how they get you in, is they get you to play for free, and then you can buy boosters.
The microtransactions
yeah,
stuff?
But you can also earn gold through game play that can also buy boosters. It just takes a lot longer.
Okay, so it's a grind the crap out of it or pay to win.
Right.
Okay.
It's not too bad, though, because if you're playing with somebody who also has these principles where you don't want to pay for stuff, like Marlin, mutual friend Marlin.
You power game each other, don't you? Or you power level?
No, we just play each other. You don't get it for every match. There's set like achievements. There's certain achievements that will unlock gold for you, so you have to specifically try to get the gold.
So you are power leveling.
What do you mean?
Okay, so it was something that you used to be... Well, you can still technically do it in lots of MMOs where your friend who has a higher level character than your starting character will essentially run you through stuff and you're sharing XP, so you get just a wild amount of XP for your level.
Right, that's not what's happening.
Well,
we're both going nowhere. We're just playing each other
I know you're
on
playing
the
video games.
No, we're playing each other on the same level, so we're both not actively trying to go after the achievements that give you gold. We're just playing each other on the same level because we have the same number of boosters.
Oh, right? You're not achievement hunting.
Right.
Oh,
we're just playing each other. Yeah, and it's not getting us anywhere.
Playing each other for fools!
A little bit.
Yes.
A little bit. It's a good game. It's a solid game. If you like the game of Magic the Gathering, you probably would appreciate this game. And everything's like you remember it. It's pretty easy and good. I like it.
I need a pretty fair amount of variety in my gaming, and
one more thing that I really like about this is that it keeps you on, and it's part of the reason I stopped playing Magic a long time ago, was in this case you're all playing the same standard or type 2, so there is no way to get older cards and have these stupid combos that are completely easy to do and require no skill.
Sets.
Huh?
That weren't written into the sets.
Exactly.
But no, that was actually one thing I was going to touch on. I need a pretty good variety in my gaming. I don't like to play the same thing over and over and over again, particularly with board games. Mm-hmm. So I'm convinced that every board game I play, I'm doing at least one thing wrong.
Right.
Have you found that having a computer reinforcing the rules of Magic has changed your play at all?
While playing that game?
Yeah, because you're no longer fact-checking with one another.
Right.
You now have a computer reinforcing all rules.
Right, and there's been an evolution of that. If you think about it, back when we used to play Magic, we were never 100% certain. The internet was in its early days a lot of the time when we were younger, so the rules weren't always readily available. But now, of course, then a couple years later, and a few years after that, we can just look up the rules online and figure out, and go, okay, that's how it is for sure.
That never happens in a Magic game.
Oh, it happens with me all the time. It happens with me all the time.
I watched you play Magic.
Well, I remember a lot of the rules, but the thing is with Magic, you have to figure it out, because now there are so many different iterations of the rules that you don't know what's going on, and you have to look them up. Mm-hmm. But yeah, actually, I kind of like that the computer kind of coaches you through it, and it doesn't let you break the rules. And whatever the rules are, it's the only thing that ticks me off a little bit about it is that there's sometimes these activated abilities. Like I think one of them was an enchantment on a creature, and when that creature, or I can sacrifice that enchantment to do damage to another creature. The thing was, I should be able to, as a reaction, before, like, put it like as that creature can take damage, it can die. So both cards are going to go to the graveyard. I should be able to, as a reaction, sacrifice that enchantment. It doesn't give me enough time to do it.
That might be on purpose.
Maybe. But I also played Halo Spartan Assault, which we talked about the other day.
Yeah, you retried it?
Yeah, I did. And I really... it's interesting because I remember when it first came out, people were talking about... Because it wasn't immediately available on the tablet, but they said the controls were made for a tablet.
I could see that.
Yeah, and what I found is I get what they're talking about, but I actually much prefer it on the computer. It's just more crisp on the computer, the mouse and keyboard, all the way.
You know what I get on tablets, especially with Spartan Assault, and guys and gals, all warlocks in attendance today. If you haven't played the Spartan Assault, it's essentially top-down Halo. Mm-hmm. It plays a little bit like Contra 4, where you've got stuff all around you, and your mouse informs which way Master Chief will be looking, and it's very hectic.
It's a little hectic, but it's much easier to do. There's more precision, like I said, with those controls.
But in that environment, what happens to me is the more I'm running my fingers over a screen, particularly my screens, which always have plastic covers on them,
mm-hmm. And Doritos crumbs, and just a little bit of shame. Mm-hmm. I got nothing to back this up, but I think I'm losing like the oils. Like
on my finger, and so like eventually there's more and more friction building up. It's very uncomfortable.
What I've noticed is that it happens a lot when you wash your hands because you're taking the oils off your fingers, and so it becomes very difficult to do that after you.
Well, you know I don't wash my hands.
Right. So you're probably just, I don't know, something wrong with your skin. You're probably dying.
Well, no, it's just this rigorous up and down motion that I'm always doing with my hand while gaming.
Just while you're gaming?
Sure.
All right. Anyway, so I was going to segue from that into, because I did play it on my tablet and my computer. Steam is wonderful, and they've made it very easy to stream. I don't know if it's directly tied to Windows 10 or if they did it before.
Oh, when was this announcement?
It was an announcement. I just figured it out.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can actually just stream stuff from your computer to your tablet or phone, or probably not
through
phones.
Windows 10.
They both have Windows 10, so I'm assuming that's why it's available.
No, that is.
Yeah, so I can stream directly from my Windows 10 computer to my my Windows 10 tablet, and it was really cool. The first time I did that, it's not so good with action games like Spartan Assault, especially with my wireless network because it sucks at my apartment. But I tried a little bit with Banner Saga, it's a game I want to get back into. I haven't played a lot of it recently, but I do want to get back into it.
Banner Saga is one of those games that I really like the art style for.
The art was amazing.
But I'm not a fan of tactical RPGs, especially at that pace. It feels a little bit like DOS battle chess.
I was going to say, it's kind of like chess in a way, and I love that. It's just more fun than chess for me, and everybody beats me at chess. I'm horrible at it. But Marlon mentioned he was going to play that, so I'm hoping to get to play him on that. What was the other game? Well, I've been playing more FTL because I still haven't beaten it, and that game is the bane of my existence. But
I've never played a single encounter in that game. Never once. And everybody says it's the best game that's ever been made. And that I believe it was written like a sort of an addendum into the Bible, that if you don't play it, you go to literal hell.
I believe it.
That's what I was told.
Yeah.
By a deacon.
Jay agrees. She's nodding over there. Or Captain Jay, excuse me.
Have we already talked about why it's so good on the show? Have you tried to convince me? And I was like, oh, sounds great, and then I didn't do it.
I don't remember. We may have. But it's an excellent game. It's funny. They have, a lot of times during loading screens and stuff on different games, they'll give you like little color commentary or little hints or whatever flavor text, if you will. I remember reading on FTL recently on one of those screens. It said something like, "Dying is part of the fun," and then it's like ... No, really, we're serious. And I disagree completely.
Okay.
That game frustrates the hell out of me.
But is it because you encounter no-win scenarios?
I haven't won. I've never won the game. And usually when I die, it's like I forgot one thing. Like you're lacking in one little department, and they exploit that. Like you have no defense for drones, let's say. Then they're gonna eventually run across a ship that just uses a lot of drones, and you're gonna die. One that really pisses me off is not having enough crew on my ship. That happens a lot, too.
I feel like you're not going into these encounters with much.
The game can screw you pretty hardcore. You can go in with almost nothing.
I think you're in a lead-lined refrigerator.
That's kind of going through space. Yeah, that's how it works.
Lately, since you asked,
yes,
I've been playing.
I did. I was curious.
Just a lot of Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, just a crazy amount of it. I think I do at least an hour a night, if not more. And the thing is, I was actually thinking about doing a Zach Nanimus review on it because it's so odd. I wouldn't give it, for as much as I play it, I'm going to give it relatively low marks.
Yeah.
But if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, this is the Dragon Ball Z experience. Okay, I haven't played Battle of Z yet. I understand that it's similar, possibly better balance.
Is this just one of those just fighting games, or is there an adventure aspect too?
Let me explain. Okay, so what it is it's like the craziest, most watered down MMO possible. And there are no areas to explore except for the hub world. All of your fighting happens in instances of areas. Either it's on the main track, or you have what they call parallel missions. And what happens is you get thrown into these instances, and you'll have enemies and you'll have friends. Now, it acts like a fighting game because you can only target one person at a time. However, if you throw a blast or something... I'm burpy today. If you throw a blast or something like that and it hits somebody else, it's okay. It's not like it's going to negate the damage just because you're not targeting. But you really do have to focus on one person at a time, and it does organize itself very much like a 9-way run fighting game.
Okay.
Or an eight-way run fighting game.
So it's not turn-based. You're not choosing. You're just...
Not at all.
Oh, you're just going through and just blasting and shooting and punching.
How it doesn't organize itself as a fighting game is that really success is about resource accruity and management.
Okay.
Because, like the Naruto game that we played, you were basically just using up all your chakra, or they call it chakra in the show for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's a new word. But in order to do the substitutions where you turn to that block of wood.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you have a similar thing where you have a stamina bar, and that gives you that... You know in Dragon Ball Z when suddenly they're behind somebody?
Yes. Yeah,
it gives you one of those. And you use that up, and it's very hard to get back. And so basically, if you're going to go head-to-head with somebody, you need to have the most stamina because you're just going to... a billion times until somebody's out and they can no longer defend themselves.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not a great game unless you love Dragon Ball Z.
And you do.
Then it's amazing.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I did pick up Limbo.
How's that?
Limbo's interesting. I was hoping that it would be a little bit more mysterious. Like, the narrative is very bare bones, and I think that's on purpose.
Uh-huh.
But you play... Well, if you've seen screenshots of Limbo.
I think.
It's all monochrome. It's all black and white.
Right.
All the features are black. All the fill light is white. And gradations there in between. It looks a lot like... I would compare it to the original Frankenweenie.
That's funny you said that. I was going to say anything by that guy.
Tim Burton?
Tim Burton.
Well, I'm definitely not Batman Returns or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, that's a little colorful.
Yeah. But and you just kind of wake up in this area, and there are things that want to kill you, and that makes sense, but there are also people that want to kill you, and there's a lot of, like, run-down infrastructure, and I feel like I'm dramatizing it myself by being like, ooh, what's this, what's that, I wonder how they're going to explain that later, but the more I play it, the more I feel like they're not going to bother.
So how's Rocket League?
Rocket League.
Are you stuck?
It's good. It's really good. I'm crazy surprised that you haven't played it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of footage of it, but I have not jumped on it yet. What's it for? Is it for all systems?
Everything. There's
Okay.
not a... I don't think it's for touch. I don't think there's a good touch interface.
Oh, I wouldn't think so. There's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that isn't.
But yeah, PC, Xbox, Metal Gear, stuff like that.
Okay.
What?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
It's... Okay, the only thing that's clumsy about it is goaltending.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Your cars, right?
Yeah.
Pushing around a soccer ball.
Right, but the thing about arena soccer, which is what this is, there's no out of bounds. The thing about arena soccer...
Out of bounds. Never mind.
Wait, am I wrong about arena soccer?
No, I was just gonna call people that use out of bounds in their sports as dandies and daffodils.
You were gonna say a slur.
I was
The worst person. There's no out of bounds, but in normal arena soccer, the goalie has abilities that no other player has using their hands.
Force fields and force powers.
I don't know.
Jedi soccer, that needs to be a thing.
Jedi soccer is an amazing idea.
Yes.
And I think...
Get on that, Disney.
It wouldn't be great, but I think I could do it.
Yeah.
It would be 2D.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, it really does feel good to play.
Okay, anyway.
And because the way I play it on the PS4 is lately what they've been doing with a lot of multiplayer stuff is they're putting in options, just canned phrases that you can put out as text very quickly with a couple of buttons. As a result, the community is great because they're heavily censored.
Exactly. I've played other games like that. I mean, I've played poker games where they have bottled phrases that you can use. Nothing that can be deemed as flagrant or anything like that.
Do you get to say "know when to hold him"?
Oh God,
Do you get to say "know when to fold him"?
No, absolutely not.
Know when to walk away.
Yeah.
Know when to run. That's my favorite impersonation of a country singer ever. Welcome to the Warpod, everybody.
Oh man,
I've been trying to keep track of how much time has passed on my phone, and I have forgotten every single minute marker that I've attempted to look at.
that's okay. Well, I know where we're at.
Okay. Speaking of consoles,
Yes,
Johnny,
that's me.
you seem to think that Xbox is going to take the lead with their new disc-free console.
Yes. I have faith in Microsoft's ability to take the lead sometime in the next year. I read into these articles. I had sent you the articles, and I finally read them all the way through.
You sent me an article? Did you email me?
It's a Facebook Messenger thing on the Warlocks thing.
Oh,
What?
we both...
What?
Jay and I ignore the Warlocks messenger.
Why?
God.
Because it's so much... Did you... Okay, America,
It's not even that much.
it's
No,
too...
but you guys talk at like 6 in the morning, and it's like,
No.
yes,
It wasn't me.
Jason.
Jason's up at that time.
yes, I know.
I read this...
Just turn off the notifications and check it like once a day.
I read this
Jason
exclusively...
talks a lot in there.
Yeah, he does. But you can actually turn off the notifications per...
I did.
Okay. Because there's another messenger group I'm in. These guys are talking all day long, and I just turn off the notifications for that one. I'll check it every once in a while.
No, this is my favorite one. Like, my phone was blowing up starting at... I can tell you when. Starting Saturday at 3:38 p.m., and then it went through to the next day. And I was looking at my phone, and it finally showed my name. Like, it was like, and by the way, Zach, because I get a little preview
Okay,
of the
I said
message.
your name, yeah.
Yeah, and I said...
You said that.
Ugh, my phone just informed me that I was mentioned by name. Give me a moment to read everything.
What I usually do is just throw in those links to articles, and because I figure it's good for us to maybe talk. If we want to talk about it in there, Jason can give his 2 cents because he's not usually on the show, and we can just go off of there.
It gets buried in crap. That's why I never see it.
Man,
Like, if it's a link, I completely ignore it because I know that somebody's going to say something that they're going to expect me to have known that they said.
yeah, it's just surprising that this particular chat is overwhelming to you guys because of all the chats I'm in. There's a lot. I see a lot of stuff.
I don't. Okay, so you sent me a link, and Xbox is
Okay. Here's the deal.
no more discs, no more
Well,
controllers,
hold on.
no
Let
more
me
HDMI.
Hold on. Let me explain. Because what I was trying to say was I finally read the article. Because first, of course, unlike everybody else, you read the headline, you think you're an expert, right? Mm-hmm. So I finally went back and read the article, and it's a rumor at this point. It seems pretty substantial. But the reason that they don't want something like this leaking right now is because that would mean, of course, that the retailers would be like really pissed off because they're not going to be selling their discs in their stores. Mm-hmm. So that could be a huge deal. I hope they do it because I think that's obviously the way we're trending, and it only hasn't happened already because of the retailers and because Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo, they need. It seems to be a preference for a lot of people to buy the consoles. They need consoles to be in stores. So if they screw up the relationships with these guys as far as their discs and the game sales, then that could be an issue in the future.
And that makes sense, but there was pushback from the consumers too.
Yes, which I think is ridiculous. Everyone needs to get on board with the new revolution of digital's everything.
The thing is, okay, there's two problems in my mind. One, there's information preservation, being able to play these games with no external support when necessary, and two, there's game sharing.
Right.
Now, if I can download it onto my hard drive, I'm fine.
Right.
But that's probably not what they're going to do.
I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
I doubt it. I doubt it seriously.
And I think that's kind of the way it was going with before there was a big outcry about the Xbox One.
I mean an external hard drive. I should have.
Oh.
Yeah, I should be able to have a video games library.
Yeah.
And have that be something that I can travel with, because one of the big
unplug it from your thing and take it to your friend's house.
Right, because the big problem with the original Xbox One release was that they were saying, well, there's going to be all these rules and your disc doesn't really work with other people and stuff like that. You can't really share games, but there's a way to share games. You can give special permissions and it's going to work this and that way. And there was a whole mess, and I don't think they're going to do the thing that's smart. I think they're going to do the thing that gives them the most control over the information.
Right, and I get that point of view, but I was on the camp of, I would love to have seen where that would have gone. Because an all-digital games library, I think, is the way that it should be. And, for one, it's better for everybody, because that's... If you even want to talk about the environmental impact, that's better, because digital distribution there's no manufacturing costs in that. There's energy costs, but there's no manufacturing. No, we're not making all this crap that nobody wants and needs. I think it's just a streamlined way of doing things. I think it's a good way to go. And I don't think that people gave it a fair shot. And I would have really... One thing I heard that really makes sense to me as far as that whole thing with the Xbox One, and what's really interesting to me, is that because they reneged on all that stuff, they actually went back and said, okay, fine, we understand you guys don't like this, you're not ready for it, we're not going to do it. Now what we have is the PS4 and the Xbox One, who are very similar consoles. If they would have gone and done what they wanted to do with the Xbox One originally, we would have had two very different consoles, and it would have been a lot more interesting.
Actually, we would have had a console and a half, because everybody was so pissed about the way discs were going to work on the Xbox One.
What do you mean? You said console and a half?
Yeah. We would have had a fully working PlayStation and half the community for Xbox.
Oh, because people wouldn't be using it.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think people would have gotten over it. I think that happens a lot, is people do get over that stuff. And I think they would have realized how cool it could have been. Because they were going to do stuff with digital distribution where you could share games with other people. They were going to do stuff like that. That was going to be available. It just would have been over, the internet or whatever.
Right, which means that it required an internet connection. Which is probably exactly what they're going to do.
Which, if you don't have an internet connection, come on, why not?
I think 20% of all Americans don't.
Yeah, gamers though.
I bet there's gamers out there that don't.
I'd be interested to see that study, to see how many gamers don't have internet connection.
How do you classify a gamer? A bored gamer?
No.
Do they have to be HP Moneybags?
Well, people that have owned maybe a console in the past, or in the last generation.
What if there's a gamer out there that's never played a game that he himself hasn't created?
Those probably exist.
Yeah,
they're probably in the backwoods of Alabama or something.
You think there's a lot of
their sticks in their rocks?
There's a lot of.
Hey, nothing against Alabama. It could be another state. Just saying.
It could be some other stupid state. Okay, so you think that this is going to be a good thing?
I absolutely. If they follow through with it, yes.
And it's going to be another Xbox One.
Yes, and that's another thing about this, is that it'd be good if they had two consoles. They have the regular Xbox One and then that one, so you have a choice, and they're not making you do it. I think that would also be an excellent thing. And of course, that's the way it would be, because there already is an Xbox.
Is it going to be lighter? I mean,
it's going to be like I think they said 2/3 the size, because without a disk drive, that takes a lot of space. Yeah. So now, of course, they have to have a bigger hard drive, otherwise, there's no point.
Or an external, but can't you plug an external in?
You can now. It's 3.0 USB external. You can do that right now, which I will be doing soon, because apparently, me, Johnny Dim, who doesn't play any games, is about to run out of space on his Xbox One.
Yeah, because you download crap and you never play it.
Yes, because they're giving me free games. Of course, I'm going to download them and never play them.
Oh, they give you Hodor the hack and slasher? Is that? Trogdor the Loincloth.
What was the one that I just downloaded? Oh, well, we talked about this a couple episodes ago. The Metal Gear Solid, whatever it's called, thing.
Ground Zeroes.
Ground Zeroes. I actually might play that. I'm not a Metal Gear fan, but I think I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna see what it's about.
Actually, you need one. It's a great demo.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to watch you beat it.
Okay. We'll do a let's play on it then.
Actually,
And it's short, isn't it?
It's very short.
Yeah.
Especially if it's even shorter if you want me to coach you through it.
Okay.
I don't know. Did you want that particular experience?
Well, that might be fun. I might get pissed off at you at some point for coaching me too closely,
Oh, I never do that.
and I'll just yell at you.
But what do you call it?
Yes.
I just threw a pin. I don't know why. I didn't hurt your computer, did I?
No.
Okay.
Well, you just deleted the entire podcast.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care about the podcast. I care about friendship. What was that? That's The Simpsons. No, okay. Something I was thinking about doing was actually a Let's Play on Phantom Pain.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. I mean, it's coming out next month.
Uh-huh.
And we could just sit down and go through the whole thing. Those games are usually about 10 to 8 hours, depending on how much extra stuff you do.
Yeah, we'll have to squeeze that in with all the Halo crap we're about to do.
Like we're gonna have to sit down for like an entire weekend.
Yes.
Like I'll have to
down.
spend the night at your place.
Yes.
And we'll have to play morning, noon, and night.
All Halo or all of Metal Gear or everything?
Everything.
Everything.
To get a good mix.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I mentioned that on the show. But just look forward.
I hope we're friends after that.
Yeah. Let's see. That was a very clumsy segue.
That's okay.
Actually, I want to segue into something else. The interesting thing about this whole Xbox thing, and you're a big. Oh yeah, I mean, you don't say Xbox holdout yet. That's coming, but you're an old Xbox holdout. I'm an old Nintendo holdout.
Yeah.
And the NX recently they filed for a patent for their next product, which is working title NX, and I guess the Nintendo Extreme.
Yeah.
Sega. But the patent doesn't include any information for an optical disc reader.
I hope they don't have one.
That's if they. The thing is, with this kind of thing, Nintendo has the worst track record for dealing with a new idea well.
Yes, and I just figured it out.
What?
I just now came to my mind how they're doing this. It's all amiibos from here on out.
A game?
Yeah. So
Wait.
you just put the game on top of the console, and there you go. You're playing a game.
But there's no buttons on the controller either. So basically, what you would have is like a plastic trackpad and two amiibos, and you just kind of like.
And you're playing like you were when you were a kid.
Like with toys.
Yeah.
And like it plays out on the screen.
Yeah. That's genius, Nintendo.
It's not a horrible idea.
It's not. It's not at all. But I'm really excited about what they're going to do because, well,
I'm not.
Because here's the thing: we're going to see one of two things, right? We're going to see Nintendo, the return of Nintendo, and their return to relevancy, or we're going to see them go bankrupt and just do software from here on out. That's the two things. That's the two options.
If they do this well,
Yeah.
it will not return them to relevancy.
Uh-huh.
It will allow them to survive,
Right.
but it will not return them to relevancy. The only thing that can honestly return them to relevancy is what I've been saying for 3 years now, which is more IPs.
Yeah.
Because they're Mario Zelda machines is what they are.
Yeah, and
Pokemon.
And Pokemon. That's
right.
That is very true.
Because next year, 2016, we are going to be getting a Pokemon fighting game,
Right.
named Pokken Tournament in Japan. I'm sure they'll come up with something a little more
and
Western.
from what I read, it's actually already an arcade game in Japan.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of the footage is already.
Yeah.
Is from that.
Which is super exciting. But about more on the NX thing, I'm actually excited about this console because I think it's really interesting. I think they may finally be doing what they've been kind of doing, or kind of segueing with the Wii U, is that they're going to the rumor is that they're going to have something that's a portable system that also is a console. If that makes sense. There's some type of merger there.
That's how I use my Wii U anyway. I play almost all the games in the controller.
Right. Exactly. But imagine you can having you being able to take that away from your home and going out and
being
playing
able to
like
steal it from your home.
Yes, and anybody else's home too.
You too good for your home.
Nice reference.
Thank you. And I was looking at my Wii U.
But anyway, I'm really curious and excited about what they're going to do next because it's just going to be fun to watch. Because I'm not a huge Nintendo fan, so it's going to be just as a spectator, it'll be fun to watch.
If we get, if this does crater Nintendo,
yes,
how they're going to make lots of money. By the way, how they're going to make lots of money is actually distributing I lost the word. Non-exclusive software across the board. Mm-hmm. Which Nintendo game are you the most excited about not needing a Nintendo to play?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I would love them for this to do software only because if they have a laser focus on that, they could make some serious games.
Yeah, because they already make... The thing is that Nintendo, especially first-party stuff, they never put out a bad game. Mm-hmm. Never. It's always quality.
Yeah.
It's a little childish.
And they work.
Yes.
But to answer your question, I would be super excited about playing one of the party games. One of the either like Smash Brothers would probably top the list, and then it'd probably be Mario Kart, and then Mario Party. Those three, I would love to. I love playing games like that. I love sitting in front of a computer with, a console or TV with friends and playing those in the same room. It's something we're seeing less and less of. Especially, I'm a big FPS. Well, not big, but I do like FPS. I love my Halo. Halo 5 isn't going to have split screen at all. Mm-hmm. And so I want something that I can do that with people with.
Can we still land? Because we were landing back in the day anyway.
Oh, absolutely, we could, and that's what.
Okay, but the thing is, can you?
Yes.
You sure? Because that's very uncommon nowadays.
Yeah, I'm almost 100% sure we can do that, and that's how they run tournaments. And
you sure they don't run them on the internet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, then you're bringing possible latency and very unpredictable.
Not when you're using NVIDIA.
All right. Sure. But that's how I've imagined it's probably going to go. Like I'm imagining already when Halo 5 comes out, bringing mutual friend Marlon or whoever else over to my apartment with an Xbox One and their own copy and multiple screens and going from there.
Can we...
What's so funny, Zach?
Zach Nanimus isn't allowed to say what I was thinking.
Okay, excellent. Well, that'll just be a mystery then.
Okay. Well, I was thinking that we could have somebody to go around. Oh, I can say this: have at least one team member whose whole job is not to play the game, but to walk around to the other team and just punch them in the genitals.
That, or I was gonna say, or anything else. Maybe like wet willies and stuff like that. Distract them.
The perineum, punch them in the perineum.
Right. Testicles on the shoulder.
Where are yours again? That you were specific tells me you may have multiple sets.
Yeah, I might. I got a collection.
I don't keep track of this stuff. Speaking of a multiplayer aspect, getting back to Pokken Tournament, which I'm very excited about. I wasn't very excited about the game until I saw the trailer that was actually on Warlock's Facebook. You can check out right now. Did you see that plug I did?
I did. That was good.
Thank you. But no, one thing I noticed, I can't confirm this. I can't confirm much about the gameplay, but I saw one of the what it looked like. One of the fighting characters produce another Pokemon and throw it.
What?
Yeah, I think you'll be able to pick like a support team.
Yeah, I read that. That you do have a support team, but Pokemon throwing Pokeballs just seems weird.
Not Pokeballs, Pokemon.
They're actually throwing Pokemon.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then again, there are Pokemon that are far more intelligent than people.
Right.
So it makes sense that some of them would be trainers.
Well, people are Pokemon.
There's credence to that. It's a theory.
Yeah.
A game theory. It is actually a game theory.
I know it is. Go check those guys out, I guess.
Matt Pack at gametheorist.pokemon.com. But no, I was really worried about this fighting game having just huge balance issues, because if you pick the wrong guy and the other guy picks a different guy, if you pick something that's gonna have some super effective weaknesses to what the other guy picks, then you got a problem. But being able to balance it out with a support team like that is actually pretty cool. That being said, they're probably not going to account for those, or at least they're not going to mean quite as much.
I would hope not.
I kind of hope so.
Oh, okay.
What I want it to be the Pokemon experience, outside of turn-based, and I want you to be able to build up these support teams the way that you would in a regular trainer battle. With and of course for time constraints and ease of play and stuff like that, maybe limit it to a group of 3. Like they do in Marvel vs. Capcom. You've got a group of 3, and you try and pick the most balanced team so that you can bring them in, bring them out, and stuff like that. I wouldn't. Items would be clunky to use, unless they were just all potions. I think, or maybe hotkeys. You could do hotkeys. But I doubt that they're going to revamp it much now, and I think based on what we've seen, you've got a pretty good idea of what it looks like. And it's your one Pokemon, and you're throwing lesser Pokemon at Pokemon so that Pokemon might poke your mom. I'm glad you enjoyed that so well.
Dude, that was very good. I like that one.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. Okay. It's going to be on the Wii U.
Yes.
And it's going to be a Wii U exclusive.
Yeah.
Are you going to do anything to go out of your way to play this game?
Well, let's see if they drop the price of the Wii U.
How much is it going for right now?
I don't know.
Isn't it like $150 or something?
That might be right. I don't know. I've kind of wanted one, to be honest. Okay, hold on. Okay, this right here is what most critics of the Wii U have a problem with: the controller, the gamepad controller. Right. And I had issues with the way the buttons were laid out when I was playing Super Smash Bros. I played it at actually it was Jay Free's, my wife's family in California. They have one.
Okay.
And I was playing Smash Brothers on it.
And I was thinking about the awkwardness for it, because I've never seen it. I was thinking about it since the last time we talked about this, which was about 5 minutes ago, when we said all of the same stuff because we lost the recording, but we still needed a clean segue.
We were doing really well. You didn't have to bring that up. I thought we were doing pretty good.
The Warlocks deserve honesty.
No, they don't.
You do. Okay. But I was thinking about it, and there's actually one thing here that is off standard for all modern controllers, and one of Nintendo's own classic controllers, and that's that you have a second analog stick, usually for camera control in FPS or other adventure games, because they do that a lot now. But the second analog stick is above your buttons.
Yeah.
And that hasn't had that. This is the only console that's ever had that,
right?
Including the GameCube.
It's also a rectangle, though. So your thumb would be in a different spot. It'd be really awkward if it was below the buttons on the right side.
Oh, instead of right here.
Yeah.
That makes They'd have to.
So I can see why they did it. It's just awkward.
Here to the down. America can't see. I guess we could take a picture of it and link to it. But no, beneath the buttons, slightly to the right would. But then the trigger would have to be lower. I think it's in the best position for what.
Yeah, for what? Yeah. It's just weird.
And on top of that, I think to a degree, I think you get that combo going. But that's almost never necessary in Nintendo games.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you know what I played? Speaking of this little piece of joy right here,
Cooking Mama 2.
Cooking Mama 2. No, I was playing Splatoon.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and the Nintendo Wii U gamepad has its motion stuff built into it, just like the PlayStation 4, which they never use, which they really could. They could get a lot of mileage out of it if they used it the way it's used in Splatoon, because in Splatoon you have normal camera control, except for your Y-axis. Your Y-axis is all motion control. So you get to
tiltage.
You get to fine-tune those headshots.
Yeah.
And I've never been more comfortable playing a third-person or first-person shooter, because they control the same way. But, yeah, it makes so much sense. And there was actually a... what?
Nothing. Captain J was reaching out to you.
Oh. I wanted to say something.
What do you want to
Say it.
Okay, Splatoon is like the one game that I want to play on the Oculus Rift.
Ooh.
Wow, that's a lot for Jay Riz to say, because
Yes.
she has like motion sickness issues.
Yes.
Oh, would you play Fallout on it?
Oh
God, no.
no.
I get so sick. I get so sick. I'd
That's-
probably get sick playing Splatoon, but when I was playing it...
But you'd be vomiting and you'd be happy.
Oh.
Like a supermodel.
But yes,
Yes.
that game is perfect for it. My
But yeah, and the thing is that Splatoon already has a lot of the software or a lot of the coding necessary for those fine-tuned motion-sensitive adjustments. And the thing is that there was a Kickstarter not too long ago that it was going to utilize a motion controller. Essentially, picture your. I think you've probably seen this before. Picture your Xbox controller. It looked a lot like an Xbox controller, but it was in two pieces and it was connected together by magnets.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and you could break it apart to activate motion.
Right.
Which makes a lot of sense because there is so much that our shoulder can do and is designed to do as far as manipulating and targeting in 3D space that our thumbs just don't.
Right.
Or at least the fine manipulation isn't there in an analog.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always frustrated me with first-person shooters because it's not that realistic to target with your thumb.
No, it's absolutely not.
And I'm really surprised that I haven't seen anything else come out of that. You know, I figured I would at least see like some, like, the new MLG Pro 2015 breakable Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Sorry, my mind went completely to the new Xbox One controllers, the fancy ones, like the Pro ones
With the new AV jack, or are you talking about the buttons on the back?
The buttons, yeah, it's got the buttons on the back, and it's also got a nicer D-pad, and it has interchangeable parts, and you can change the sensitivity on everything too. So tonight, we also, man, what's wrong with me?
I have no idea.
Tonight we also have a top 3 that we're. So that's the thing we're doing.
I think I don't know that segment has ever been introduced better.
No, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Tonight's top 3, in honor of the fact that there will no longer be optical discs in the future for whatever.
Yep.
When I read these things, I jumped to the conclusion, oh man, we're bringing cartridges back. Which, by the way, they should have already done. Cartridges...
Just put discs in them.
Well, yeah, but cartridges make sense because you can introduce hardware.
Yeah.
Which is what they used to do all the time.
Right.
I've said it on the show before, Star Fox, their FX chip was in the cartridge. That's why Star Fox looks so different.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I jumped to the conclusion that they're bringing cartridges back, so I thought, top 3, bottom 3, cartridges of all time. Johnny Dim, give me your bottom.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Gonna sell it on Craigslist.
Ooh. I didn't have much of a bottom list prepared, so I'm going to come up with something on the fly here, see if I can get some, at least something.
Would you like me to go first?
Yeah, give me some time to think. Yeah.
Okay. Bottom 3. Some of this will surprise you, some of this won't. Number 3, blanket statement. Clear Game Boy games. I don't like the aesthetic. I've never liked looking at the motherboard. It always felt like Like, even though there was first party stuff like Zelda, Oracle of Seasons, and Oracle of Time, right? Seasons and Time, yeah. Both of those actually came in clear cartridges. It made me feel like this was like somehow something you could get in a Happy Meal. There was something just a little cheaper about it.
Sure.
I don't know why.
So you weren't a fan of the clear Game Boy either?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
You know, it was like that phone. Remember how they used to sell the clear phone? And Clarissa, who would regularly explain it all, also had one.
Nope.
It's a 90s thing.
Oh.
It's a 90s, like, plug-in, like, corded phone, not a...
Oh, the corded ones, yes. I do remember that.
Okay, number 2, the box art. Okay, specifically the fact that the cartridge came in a box, and this box had art, and that cartridge was Mega Man 1 and 2.
Okay.
Do you remember these?
No.
Okay, 2 wasn't so bad. The art itself was pretty much the way it was supposed to be.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna pull up the box art for you for Mega Man 1, and this is the exclusively American box art. Let's see, Mega Man 1 box art, and you've played Mega Man 1, right?
Maybe.
Well, you know what classic Mega Mans are supposed to look like, right?
I know what Mega Man games look like, yeah.
Okay, this is the American box art to Mega Man 1.
Holy crap, you're shitting me.
Not at all.
That's a real thing?
That is definitely the real thing. It's so real, in fact, that there was a guy, once 3D printing became a little cheaper, he actually made that toy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Someone should cosplay this if they haven't already.
I think I see it a lot. The funny thing is that there's a reference to it in later Mega Mans, because your color shifts when you get a new ability. And
they get the yellow. And
they get the yellow and the blue. The other thing that I wanted to share about this was something that Dorkly put out. And because it said leaked memos explain why every Mega Man cover is terrible, and I was like, oh, so now we'll actually get an explanation as to like what was going on, and it was just Dorkly. And it was like, subject, Mega Man cover design? Devin, here's what I'm picturing for Mega Man. 45 years old, dude wearing his homemade Tron costume. Using his wildly out-of-proportioned limbs to hunt down cyber criminals in space Hawaii. Seriously, I want those limbs the size of tree trunks and jutting out in directions that are physically impossible. You sure? But watch out, a bunch of yellow butts are protruding from the ground. Luckily, he has his trusty pistol aimed awkwardly at the customer. Quick note, I have not played the game myself. Video game slash research is for nerds. Also, his helmet should look all effed up. Andrew, P.S. Don't you got some third grade kids with 2 broken hands? Have him do the actual drawing and coloring. I got a good feeling about this.
That's awesome.
Of course, that's the incomparable Dorkly. If you haven't been to dorkly.com, it is very much worth your time.
Yes.
And this is going to surprise you.
Uh-oh.
This last one right here. Final Fight takes the cake.
You love that game.
Final Fight for SNES takes the cake as my least favorite cartridge. I love that game. I hate its SNES port. You know why?
Cartridge.
They left out Guy.
Oh, on the cover? On the box art?
In the game! He's not in the game!
Wait. But the cartridge. This is bottom 3 cartridge.
Okay, in every other version of the game,
Yeah.
Guy's in it.
Okay.
Except for this particular cartridge, Final Fight for SNES.
Okay. I see the link. I'm sorry.
He's the Red Ninja.
Is he?
Yeah, he's the American Ninja. And it was such a big deal that they actually released a second version of this game called Final Fight Guy. I'm not joking.
We brought him back.
Yeah. It's absolute craziness. And on top of that, no co-op.
None?
That is a one-player game.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I won't want to do that by myself.
What, just go out fighting? But yeah, that's my bottom 3. Johnny Dim.
Yeah, I'm only going to have one on this list, on the bottom list, because you reminded me of something about how awful all the old Atari art is. On the cartridges and the boxes. They're completely inaccurate.
Yeah.
They're absolutely horrible. So misleading.
Anything specific that comes to mind?
Oh man, I'm just remembering like all the ones that were like they were semi like like they're kind of like the precursor to most RPGs. They're always like a guy in a barbarian with an axe or something doing stuff, and then you actually play the game and you're literally a block.
Oh, it's always got this crazy like
yes.
It was like paper, like
the epic '80s, art about fantasy art or whatever.
There's a particular artist that's like known for that style, and I can't think of his name right now. But it was always on the front of like trashy paperback fantasy novels for 8th graders.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. or some of the old Star Wars art that they did. It was very similar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Golden Axe is what.
Yeah, Golden Axe is a big yeah.
You know, I have all of the Golden Axes, right, for Xbox 360.
They're for the 360.
Yeah, it's on Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection.
I kind of want to play that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
they're tough.
I imagine,
and they move at a very, very frustrating speed. Your characters are not
fast,
quick enough.
Yeah. Yeah, they're only wearing bikinis anyway. They should move pretty quick.
The thing is that there's relatively a good amount of industry or technology in that era.
Yeah,
they shouldn't be dressed like barbarians. They just are.
Right.
Yeah. All right, next one. Number two.
That's all I had.
Well, you just blanket statement all box art for Atari.
Yeah, I think that covers all three. Well, and then my other thing I thought about saying was all cartridges anyway, because since I'm such a proponent of the digital age, and not having anything.
Cartridges were digital.
Right. But I meant no physical thing you buy from the store and bring home.
In fact, no physical thing.
Yeah, all in your mind. I want that the PS12.
I'm trying to. No, that's getting a little too esoteric. I'm trying to distinguish program enforced rules on imagination.
Yeah, don't do that.
Why?
I don't know. It just sounds like a trap.
Yeah, because wouldn't you have to implant it? I suppose you could look at a hypnotic signal.
So, your top 3.
Top 3. Cartridges of all time. Number 3, Rolling Thunder for the NES. Specifically, its box art. Because what I remember about it when I was coming up with this list, I was like, what are some of the cartridges, for the sake of them being cartridges, that I enjoy the most? And Rolling Thunder came to mind because I literally remember thinking this, that when I look at the art to this game, that's the way the game is supposed to be, and I'm playing a representation of it. I remember thinking that, and it linked the two ideas so well to me that it stuck with me even to this day. I wasn't looking at any list, doing any research or anything. I was like, Rolling Thunder fits on this list somewhere, and I wanted to bring up the art for you.
Is it a racing game?
No, it's a side-scrolling shooter.
Interesting.
And we'll go ahead and link to it. But this is the box art for it. And admittedly, now I think that it may have. It's sticking with me this long may have had something to do with my budding sexuality at the time.
Yeah, a little bit.
Jay, if you want to take a look, no one is scantily clad. They're all fully covered.
No, they're just featured.
Yes. And you play as the dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you'll get to play as her later.
As the Big Lebowski? The Big Lebowski? You get to play as the Big Lebowski?
First off, a Big Lebowski game for NES would be amazing.
You said you get to play as the dude, so.
You're just a card, aren't you? All right. Number 2, Legend of Zelda NES Gold Edition.
Yes.
That was. She's just pointing at him. She knows she can be heard, so she's trying not to say stuff. Gold Edition. Okay, the thing is, like, I had my Ocarina of Time Gold Edition before I had ever seen this cartridge. But I remember, and I had never played the game either. I started with Ocarina of Time at about the age of 9. Mm-hmm. So, I remember I saw it in a specialty store, and it was actually sitting next to its own box. And this had like a golden plastic chrome finish.
Yep.
It was glistening.
Everybody remembers that one.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I remember I must have been like 11 the first time I saw this thing, and I was like, oh my god, it's like a relic. It's like a glimmering relic from the
treasure.
past. This amazing thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And turns out that game is just constantly. And some of its music has actually made my bottom list. Number one goes out to Pokemon Red and Blue.
Good call.
Pokemon Red and Blue not only featured an interesting concept for having the two things, but also if you look at Nintendo's handheld history, Pokemon was something that not a lot of people thought could be done on a Game Boy.
Right.
They didn't think such complex ideas would actually fit into the system. And it turned out that you actually needed one particular genius in order to do it, but he did it.
Right.
I heard something, and I it feels almost like a rumor. I'm not sure, but I heard like he was actually autistic.
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
But it's, that's an interesting little tidbit in it.
I remember some stories about the guy that created Pokemon originally, like just the idea. I don't know if it was the same guy who actually physically went in there and made the game. I don't know if it's the same guy or not. But anyway, I know he based the idea off of him catching like crickets and stuff in his childhood. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the game itself, he was playing Final Fantasy Second Story.
Yeah.
Because that's a pretty complex game for the original Game Boy.
Yeah.
And he was like, I can do a lot with this. And he made maybe one of them, what might possibly be the second most marketable franchise
out of Nintendo
ever.
Or ever.
Yeah.
That's
First
true.
being, we all know this, TMNT.
Oh yeah,
it is.
Yeah, I know. I know. You're right. You're right. That was your top three. Okay, mine. A lot of them are from my personal past. When playing games when I was a kid, cartridges that stuck out in my mind. And number 3 is Killer Instinct for the Super Nintendo because it was a black cartridge, and different colored cartridges really stuck out. You're always like, oh, what's this one? I remember that as a kid. If there's a library of games in front of me on a shelf or something, ooh, what's the ones that's a different color? You always would check those first. Because you're like, what's different about them?
Hey, Johnny.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen when we go straight to download?
I don't know.
Is it going to be like a weird file type? Ooh, this is a whole game in a JPEG. Gotta check this one out.
No, that's not. They can get creative with that. I mean, I'm assuming pre-orders will still be a thing. There'll be like still special editions. They'll send you, a statue or whatever the hell else. I love the creative stuff they're doing now with those things now. With the new, I think it's the new Black Ops. I think it's Black Ops. They give you a mini fridge with the pre-order.
Because they don't like their fans very much. Is that what?
It's a really small fridge, from what I understand. It's not that big at all,
No.
And it's just enough for like a 12-pack or a 6-pack of Cokes, like cans, it's something like that.
It comes with a form letter of resignation. You just have to type in the name of the business you work for.
Anyway, I love, and they're the same group of people who did the night vision goggles, so it's really interesting stuff. I like what they're doing with that. But number 2 for me is actually the Zelda Gold cartridge as well.
Oh,
because
yeah.
that thing is absolutely sticks out in your mind as just absolute classic. Grabs your attention.
It looks like it should be in a museum.
It does.
It belongs in a museum.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
you didn't say it.
What?
So do you.
Oh, is that from
Raiders?
It's been a while since I've seen that.
And then you're supposed to have one of your henchmen punch me off the boat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
Captain J? Punch him. Yeah, there you go.
I'm not one of your henchmen, though.
Oh,
Moved your hand.
It's temporary. So number 1 for me actually is Doom for Super Nintendo because it was a red cartridge.
That was.
And I loved it. That's what first caught my eye. The reason I bought that game as a little kid, and my mom had no idea what Doom was. This was actually, I remember when I bought it. Doom, this particular cartridge, I don't remember what store we were in, but they had repackaged it. so it wasn't in the original box. I remember it was like...
Was it one of those like Game Crazy boxes that's got like a Sharpie on the front and stuff?
No. It was different than that. It was like there's like a cardboard backing, and then they put the cartridge on top of that, and then they just wrapped it in clear wrap.
Weird.
Yeah, and I don't remember where I got it from or whatever, but I was like, oh, a red cartridge. That's awesome. What is this? Let's buy it. And then my mom bought it for me, and because there was nothing with it, there was no manual, nothing, and it ended up being Doom, and I love that game. That
sounds like some Funko Land jankiness.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds
like.
That's
exactly what it sounds like. But speaking of Doom, I can't. I'm super excited about that new game, the new Doom game coming out.
Doom 4?
Yeah.
That one's... I haven't seen much about it. That one's supposed to be a return to basics. Like, run around, shoot 'em up. Because 3 was survival horror.
Yes.
Very much so.
Right. This one is more like... It seems stripped down. Like, there's not, like, a story that you care that much about. Mm. You're fighting demons, and you're on Mars, and you go to hell, and all this kind of good stuff. So, yeah, it's just... But it looks fantastic. And it's faster paced, too.
Faster paced than the original Doom?
Yes.
So you're moving at about 25 miles per hour? All the time?
More or less.
See, Doom is one of those things that because it's a classic game, they feel like they have to redo it every time.
I'm cool with that. I've liked the recent ones. I like Doom 64 was good. The Doom that was on Xbox 360 was good.
Well, no, they're not bad games, but it's kind of like buying a new version of the game instead of buying a sequel. Like the original Doom was about some guy who found himself eventually in hell with normal.
Well, he was on Mars, yeah.
Oh, was there actual lore in that game?
There are, but I never paid attention.
Okay.
I just know that he was on Mars. He went to Mars, and everybody had been turned into demons, or there were demons there, and then the guys that were there were like just evil.
Okay,
yeah.
So Doom guys, do me a favor. The concept is great. Let's start exploring other planes of existence. You know, if the narrative is going to be about a guy who's a normal guy and he finds himself in a mystical place, let's try new mystic places.
I don't think so.
Why?
I think that people expect a certain thing out of Doom, and they want nothing more than that.
That's a narrow vision, and I hate it.
That's fine.
But the thing is, I know that it is and why it is successful.
Right. Sorry.
I'm just disappointed.
That's okay. Want a hug?
No. However, before we sign out, I do want to say, I do want to let everybody know that we are going to be having some giveaways in the future. So be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook. Also, don't forget that our YouTube channel is still up and running, and by the time while you are listening to this, we'll have new episodes of the Master Chief Collection out.
Yes, and there's going to be a lot more of that. We've been kind of dry on that the last month or two, but there's going to be a lot of Master Chief stuff, a lot of Halo stuff, and hopefully some Metal Gear stuff, apparently.
Yes.
So, and the reason we're doing a lot of Halo stuff is, of course, Halo 5 is coming out in November, so we're going to try to get out as much Halo stuff as we can before that.
I think we can do it all.
All of it.
I think we can do it all.
Challenge accepted.
You heard it here first. If we don't, what has to happen to us?
Ooh, maybe we should let the people choose.
No, we should not.
Dangerous.
Okay, well then I think it's time to say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. It's been fun.
Bum 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 bum.
Do do do. We should have Captain J choose.
Me.
We need to pick a game that we have to play as a result.
For at least 5 hours during Extra Life.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
That
would suck.
Oh. Make you play the stupid Madden game that I played. God, I hated that. That was like the worst.
I like football. And I like football games.
I like football too. I just hate it. I didn't know how to play the
Oh, that's right. We made you do that. I forgot what you were talking about at first. But yeah. That's
awful.
Right. Maybe a sport nobody likes.
I was thinking Trauma Center for Wii.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Have you ever played that?
No, I've heard some things.
Okay, have you played Trauma Center for DS?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I think I know what you're talking about. There's another surgery-related game that you can play with two players because like one person controls the arm and like someone controls the fingers, and you're trying to take out like a heart, It's a thing.
I know what you're talking about.
Rooster Teeth did some Let's Plays on it.
But, well...
It's very difficult.
For Trauma Center, you're playing pretty much like this. Luckily, I have my Nintendo Wii U gamepad out. And so you play...
with a stylus.
Yeah, and so you play basically like this on your DS. On the Wii, you're playing with the remote, pointing it at the TV.
Ugh.
So you're like this through, very telescoped version of surgery, but still takes a while.
Right.
This has been another great presentation by the 4-Eyed Radio Network. You can find more information at 4eyedradio.com.